Hello, shattered the screen, cut up the wires. This is Twisdon360 Politics Unplugged. We come back with another explosive episode to you guys, our listeners. Today we are gonna set the record straight forward to you.
Cut the wires, shatter the screen, unplug the lies, reveal what's unseen. Twisdon360, no filters, just truth. Time to awaken, challenge their proof.
Yeah. Time to awaken and challenge their proof. Absolutely, it is a time. And today we set the record straight. We put our editorial guideline to you and we talk about PDP controversial NEC meeting and PDP crisis and where it's supposed to be. Welcome to Twisdon360 Politics Unplugged, where we lay down to you our editorial guideline leaning clearly, unapologetically, unrooted in the struggle of ordinary people. We align ourselves with global movement for justice and dignity, from student encampment in the US and UK to revolution now in Nigeria led by Omoyele sowore and the Sudanese revolution uprising in 2019, rise of leaders and movements like Jeremy Corbyn in Europe, Jean-Luc Mélenchon and Julius Malema in Africa here, and also Yanis Varoufakis of Democratic 25, Podemos in Spain and Progressive International and beyond. And then we come back to Nigeria to unpack the deepening crisis within Nigeria's PDP, where controversial NEC meeting has exposed rifts and raised questions of legitimacy and further alienated the public from the political elite. Let's go.
Cut the wires, shatter the screen, unplug the lies, reveal what's unseen. Twisdon360, no filters, just truth. Time to awaken, challenge their proof. Cut the wires, shatter the screen, unplug the lies, reveal what's unseen. Twisdon360, no filters, just truth. Time to awaken, challenge their proof.
Yes, once again, we come back. Once again, Nigeria's oldest so-called Big Ten party, the People's Democratic Party, has proven that it is neither democratic nor people-oriented. Its latest National Executive Committee meeting was not only controversial, but a political theater that laid bare that the party's emptiness, confusion, and total disconnection from the aspiration of Nigerian masses. What was supposed to be a strategic gathering to reposition the PDP has turned into yet another spectacle of internal betrayal, elite compromise, and loyalty auctions. A NEC meeting that dodged accountability, avoided addressing Nigeria's pressing issues, and completely ignored the hunger and disillusionment in the land cannot be seen as legitimate, only laughable. The elephant in the room is Wike versus Atiku saga once again. How long will PDP remain held hostage by personal ambitions and regional ego contest? Atiku-Wike rivalry has become a permanent stain on the party's cohesion. Their unresolved feud continues to paralyze internal consensus and distract from genuine opposition politics. As a party serious about reclaiming power would use its NEC meeting to build bridges, galvanize movements, and rally around policy alternatives. Instead, it was reduced to gathering of recycled elite who come to protect their turf, exchange passive-aggressive verbs. The youth are watching and they are not impressed. The Nigerian youth, whose massive mobilization on social media in the streets shook the 2023 election, are not watching the PDP for entertainment. They are looking for sincerity, clarity, and reality, urgency, none of which the NEC meeting offered today. At the time when the ruling APC government is past becoming synonymous with economic collapse, subsidy fraud, and unchecked authoritarianism under Bola Tinubu administration. The PDP should be offering credible alternative, but what do we get instead? Silence on fuel price hike, no word on mass unemployment, and absolutely no plan on constitutional restructuring, just more cheers and rearranged on sinking ship. As somebody call it, these PDP members that are, jumping and going around APC, they are jumping from a sinking ship. Whether or not we don't believe that, we believe that the party has to hold itself together and try to come with a alternative for Nigerians. A party afraid of its own shadow. Even more disgraceful is the next refusal to decisively handle internal reform. What is a national executive committee if it cannot lead with vision? Why is there no concrete policy framework on security, corruption, or education coming out of this meeting? Why has the party failed to address its image as an elite club of deal makers? One cannot be the main opposition and be spineless. Nigeria is in crisis. We don't need a PDP that dances around internal power games. We need a real ideological rebirth. The PDP greatest problem remains its ideological hollowness. What does it really stand for? Neoliberalism with a southern accent? Statism when in trouble? And privatization when it suits them. The Nigerian people cannot afford another cycle of elite recycling without substance. There is bold vision for the wealth redistribution, public sector revival, or ending mass suffering, no grassroots empowerment, no land reform, no public healthcare expansion, just back talk and elite repositioning. They have no plan. If there is it, let us see it. But we Nigerians care about the plan if they do have it. And this is opposition. Nigeria is on its own. If you look at this opposition, then you will see that Nigeria is on its own. There is no any opposition out there, specifically the PDP. If the PDP want to lead again, it must stop lying. It must stop lying. It must be playing a real game. It must stop playing safe. It must align itself with the poor, the excluded, the forgotten. If it continues to act like a wounded giant begging for unity without ideology, it will die, not with a bang, but with a soft, ignoble whimper. As the Nigerian people, they must begin to look beyond PDP versus APC, LP, and all these politicians. We need a politics of idea, not recycle good parties. The time for fake opposition is over. We demand a politics that listing, not one that lunges in cozy Abuja hotels while the country burns. As here, our commentary is absolutely clear. What should happen, what the NEC should have done is rebuild credibility by confronting the internal betrayal that contributed to the party's failure in about 2 or 3 elections. Since 2015, they have never won an election. Commit to ideological clarity by defining what the PDP stand for in the 21st century beyond vague appeal to rescue Nigeria. Open its door to young progressive voices instead of clinging to godfathers and governors who only care about personal empire building. A missed moment here is that while millions of Nigerians continue to groan under fuel price hikes, Naira depreciation, inflation, and security, the PDP's NEC focused on political gymnastics. This was an opportunity to organize mass mobilization, offer a radical policy alternative, and begin internal renewal. Instead, the PDP chose survival over sincerity, and Nigeria is poorer for it. But the real opposition is not dead. It's just not in Wadata Plaza in Abuja. It is rising from the grassroots, from radical youth coalition, from socialist, left-wing, Pan-African leaders in this country like Sowore, like Peter B., like many others that we cannot mention the name, but there are many. And from movements ready to speak truth to power. Don't forget you are listening to Twisdon360 Politics Unplugged, and now we are going to go directly to our editorial guideline. And this editorial guideline is going to talk about where we stand, because we are not standbyers. We are not watchers. We are just not watching what is happening. Here we are at Twisdon360 Politics Unplugged. We believe it is essential to be transparent about editorial worldview. This platform is not neutral in the face of injustice, and we proudly declare our ideological orientation. We are socialist, pan-Africanist, revolutionary, left-leaning, people-centered. Our program exists to amplify the struggle and hopes of ordinary people, not comfort of elites. Our ideological position, we stand unapologetically with the global working class against corporate exploitation, with the environment against profit-driven climate destruction, with grassroots movement, not with corrupt political dynasties or military regimes, with the people's sovereignty, not with the imperial domination. Our editorial stands aligned with the leftist, ecological, labor past and justice-driven politics, the kind rooted in solidarity, equality, and collective liberation. We do not romanticize authoritarian model of governance, whether it is the Soviet reparation or China's authoritarian capitalism and brutal crackdown like Tiananmen Square. We reject top-down command economies that substitute the will of the people with the will of the party or military. Our socialism is not about state brutality, it's about democracy from below, liberation from all forms of exploitation, and justice for the marginalized. We draw inspiration from kind of a African, Scandinavian democratic socialism. It's like Sweden, Denmark, nowhere and somewhere. Now it is rocked with the left-wing anti-immigrant and Islamophobe, xenophobe, but don't mind, there are progressive awakening in there. We are kind of inspired by Eurocommunism and Gramscian progressivism, green politics rooted in climate justice, and an African revolutionary socialism as imagined by Sankara, Nkrumah, and modern-day activists like Julius Malema and Omoyele Sowore. On foreign policy, our foreign policy perspective is anti-imperialist without aligning with any new imperialist or great powers. Pro-global South, standing in solidarity with peoples of Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East in their struggle against neocolonial domination, and indeed in Israel, settler colonial Zionist domination. We are against it. A new world order, rebalanced global system where no pipe countries, UN Security Council members dictate the fate of billions. We believe in reforming international institutions, especially the United Nations, to ensure peer representation and power for developing countries. We are here not to cheerlead for Russia's oligarch, China's autocrats, America's military industrial complex, or Europe neoliberal elites. We support popular power. We support self-determination and internationalism from below. Movement that inspire us, that would give us hope, and what fuels our editorial spirit are the growing waves of pro-people progressive movements around the world. Jeremy Corbyn in the UK, Jean-Luc Mélenchon of France Unbowed, Julius Malema in South Africa, Uprising from Blood of Marikana, Yanis Varoufakis in Greece, Podemos in Spain, Progressive International as a global solidarity and justice movement. Sri Lanka leftist winning an election is also a inspiration, and Lula coming back, revolution now in Nigeria, Sudan uprising, Kenyan youth movement and pre-Palestine, and student encampment in the United States and United Kingdom. These are not just a breed of hope, but these are not just movements. There are movements that refuse to let humanity accept injustice and normalize it. They challenge all order and prove that the better world is possible. And we believe here that the better world is possible. This is Twisdon360 Politics Unplugged signing out. See you next time.